Hello, and welcome back after 2 weeks now. There were a lot of delays this time, it was a week longer. There was a lot of uninstalling and reinstalling Google Chrome. I don't know what was going on, but for some reason Chrome was having an issue where it just wasn't even rendering the top half of a page at all, or just any pages at all, so I kept having to uninstall it. Ended up just using Safari for the time being, just because things weren't working out. And so that was the other delay, was getting the photo upload to work out. Realized Ant Design's photo upload was different than any of the other photo uploads I've used, and when I used their custom URL, it came up with different files, so then I had to figure out what to do there, and that took me a bit. But now I've got that working. I can upload a new photo. I'll update on the icon there, and we can see that show up. So I added Ant Design as well, changed the nav bar, stubbed out the base pages. With that, I added the redux state for the comics. So as you can see on the initial get user, we'll get all the comics as well. And then once the user succeeds, we'll get the user's comics data. And here in the tree, in our comics, we've got a state for all comics, publications, and library. So we've got the two states for the user plus the all comics, which is public. I'm going to go to explore. So here's my sample page where I've mapped over all the comics. And you can see that I've just got some basic cards for all of them. I'm not completely tied to the design quite yet. I just have some sample images. But this is kind of a baseline of what the other pages will look like. The library will have your comics in your library that you like. And publications will have a different layout where you can edit and publish either new comics or new chapters for the comics you've created. So let's take a look at the code. So I made it so once you get the user, and you successfully get the user or log in, that's when it'll get the user comics. And with the user comics, I've got two different responses for the comics and the favorites, aka the library. And I'll return that data as one object, and in my user comics handler, I will take that response and set it to each respective state. And so for next week, my goals are to set up the chapter creation process, which will include uploading photos for the pages as well. And once we have that all set up, we'll be able to start setting up reading of chapters, so that you can see, you can read and have a page flip, which I was going to use a third party for, or just see what they were doing, how to work with that. And then as well, I wanted to map out the comics just on the other pages and maybe figure out some sort of design that I like better than the sample cards that I have working on right now. Alright, until hopefully next week. See you.